Well, hello there. Welcome back to the Rendezvous. As most of you probably are aware, in each of my YouTube videos that I produce, I try my best to also show you a print that I made from one of the featured photos in that video. I've got some requests throughout whatever months or years to see some of my prints that some of those particular prints, and I thought, why not? I mean, it might make an interesting video, so that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through a box of them, and so this stack down here, this stack on the very bottom shelf, it's all paper boxes, but instead of paper, they're full of prints. All of them are packed full. In fact, there's a lot there. So I thought I might do a series of videos each, say once a month, something like that. And on those, I would feature one of those boxes of photos, and we'll go through them one by one. And I'd kind of tell you just a little bit about each picture that's in it. I thought it might make a nice video. What do you guys think? We'll try it and see. Anyway, that's what we're going to do today. And yeah, let's just get to it right now and see how it turns out. Thanks for coming by. I appreciate it. Let's get to this. All right, here we go. We're going to take a look at the photos in this particular box. First thing I'm going to do is mark this box with an X. That tells me that we have made a YouTube video out of the pictures in this box. That way I won't repeat myself. Let's turn this lid back like this and let's begin. Alrighty, here is pictures of some cowboys. I took this photo with my Konica Auto Reflex T camera, black and white film, probably around 1980, sometime around there. I actually know all of these fellas in this picture, and I was coming back from the mountains, and they were driving this herd of cattle down the road. So I pulled over and waited for them to get out of the way, and while I did, I took this picture. I like it, and I've got a lot of people who like it too, especially a couple of these guys are no longer with us, the older adults. The young boy is still around, though. All right, next up. Well, I gotta turn this around, it looks like. There we go. That makes it better. I hope they're all that way. So this was featured on one of my YouTube videos. This is a GoPro screenshot, basically, that I made up in Glacier View, Alaska, up near our cabin. Came out pretty good for a screenshot of a GoPro image. These pictures that I'm showing you are on 13 by 19 paper. The images vary a little bit. For instance, this one here it's a reflections of a rock and water on I think a spring day. I took this, I don't know, I don't even have written on this what it is. So this may be a picture that I just printed on my own. It wasn't featured on a YouTube video. Kind of a neat square picture, black and white. This one was featured on a YouTube video. This was taken with the Nikon D200 300 millimeter lens. This was taken on a late fall afternoon, I believe, up at my cabin in Glacier View. Took it handheld. I like this picture. It came out pretty nice. Here's another picture, also featured on my YouTube videos, but I have nothing written on the back of this about it. I know it's a woodpecker, and I know I waited a long time for him to poke her to poke her head out of that hole in that birch tree. Came out nice. Like that one. This is a reflection picture of, I cannot at the moment think of what kind of bird this is. Yep, I can't think of it. Anyway, this was taken with my D500. Again, this was on our pond at our cabin. And this was, I think, featured on one of my YouTube videos. I think it was about a year ago, maybe the summer of 2023, I believe. Nice picture, 12 by 18, 13 by 19 photo paper. Yep, here's my puppy dogs. This is Peanuts on the left, on the right, the tan and white one is Wendy. We call her Winnie. Anyway, that was taken inside my house. I don't have a date on it. Taken with the Nikon D200 on that one. They're cute little puppies, but driving me crazy sometimes. They're so cute, but they can be ornery. All right. Here's one taken. This one was on YouTube videos, and I can't remember the exact date. I think I don't know. Maybe it's not important when this was, but it was on a video taken with the D500 with a 300 millimeter lens on it, f4. Taken of a snow bus driving through past our house on a snowy morning. This one, now this was taken on a pedestrian walkway that the city has put out for us. It's a nice little path. Anyway, this is it's on the Cottonwood Creek, and there is salmon swim up that every fall, up that little stream, and so they got a little notice here to tell you that, yeah, there's salmon here. So anyway, I thought it was an interesting picture, black and white picture. I don't have any specs on this picture at all. Here's what nice one I took at my grandson's wedding with the D200. A 24 to 85 lens, and believe me, this was kind of a hard one to get set up. I need to tilt that back to get some light on it. And at that time, my youngest granddaughter is in it, and you will, if you look closely, you will know which one she is by what she's doing. And she is quite a little girl, that girl is. Anyway, and the Harley belongs to my grandson. He works at Harley, so he's got a Harley to drive. I like the picture. It came out real nice. Hatcher Pass. A few years ago, I hiked up to here. To get to where I started hiking takes about an hour from my house, a little over an hour. And then I hiked for, seemed like 9 hours, but I think it was really a little over an hour, maybe an hour and a half to get to this location. This is an old mining shack. This is in Hatcher Pass. That's where it is, Hatcher Pass. And I hiked up here, and it's such a beautiful day. And just behind me, there is a great view of Denali. That's very rarely seen by tourists. The viewpoint is, tourists just don't hike up here so very much. I mean they do, but anyway, it's a pretty picture, and I like the cabin. It's a long ways down to the bottom of that valley, folks. All right. Here, this is the Matanuska Glacier up by my house, by my cabin. Really pretty picture of this glacier. You can see it well from the Glen Highway. If you've been to Alaska, you've probably seen basically this view of the Matanuska Glacier. It's one of the easiest glaciers in Alaska, in this part of Alaska, to view right from the road. There's pull-offs. You can just stop and look at it all you want. Hopefully it's a nice day when you do it. If it's in the middle of the day, you're not going to get good pictures because it's white and bright. So this was in the evening. I like it. This is called, or it was called, the Mondor Barn. In 2010, I think it was, my mother became ill in Yakima, Washington. She had a brain tumor, and so I spent a lot of time down there that summer. And when I had a few moments, I would drive to this barn. It's in a little area called Tampico, west of Yakima, Washington. It's up at the South Fork of the Tanum, and it was a nice little barn. It was, I think, built in 1849, I think it says on it. So I took these pictures. I took a lot of pictures, and they came out nice. And sadly, this property was purchased after that time, and in order to get a loan on the property, the new owners had to dismantle this barn and basically destroy it, because it wasn't real good shape on the inside especially, and it was a safety hazard according to whoever they were borrowing money from. So this barn is no longer there. You can't even see it except in pictures. I've sold a lot of this picture. A lot of people from the Yakima Valley like this photograph. Here is, where is this at? This is up in Archangel Valley in Hatcher Pass. I used to go up there a lot. This was taken with my D70, October of 2009. I used to spend a lot of time up in this area. It's so pretty, but I got run out by tourists and locals. That's so many people up there nowadays. I don't even enjoy it when I go up there. There's hardly even a place to park. So anyway, I don't go up there anymore, but I wish I could, because it's really a pretty place. And this came out really good. This photograph did. Oops, there's an 8x10 that we saw, very first one. Here we go. Here's an old Hudson car that I photographed. It's with the D200. And this is at the, what is it called? Transportation Museum here in Wasilla. They have on display a lot of old farm equipment, trains, airplanes, cars. I mean, you can just walk around out there. It's a great place to go and take the kids, or it's just yourself. I used to go up there all the time just to take photographs. This was taken by a 12x18. I mean, with my D200, of course, with a Tokina 12-28 lens on it. And old Hudson's been there. It's a Nash. Yeah, I think that's a Nash. I don't know. I can't remember. Anyway, it's been there a long time. Great little car. Dandelions. This was on my YouTube it's about a year ago, I guess. Yeah, it's about a year ago. Taken with the D200, the Nikon D200, and the 80-200 lens. When I was out getting desperate for pictures, one day I found this. So here's an interesting one I took in Palmer, Alaska, colony days, where they have all kinds of booths and vendors and things like that. So you go walk around, and if you have some money to spend, you spend it on handmade items, basically, or food. There's a lot of food there, a lot of people. It's a pretty popular event. This was taken with a D200 18-70 lens. And that in the background is Matanuska Peak. That peak back there is Matanuska Peak, and the Chugach Mountains. Oh, this one was from this year, actually. It was last summer. Anyway, I was driving up to Glen Highway to my cabin, and I remember this. There was a moose when I drove by this initially, there was a moose out there on the ice. And so I turned around and came back. I was going to get a picture. I didn't see that little greenhouse thing at the time. But anyway, when I came back, it was just 3 or 4 minutes later, the moose had already left. And it would have been a nice picture with that moose in it too. But I like the way the greenhouse just stands out there. There's a little cabin back in there that you can't drive to it. You have to, in the winter, you can walk to it across the ice, I guess. But other than that, I don't know how they get back there. But it'd be a nice cabin. All right. Oh, here is one I took this, when was it? Within a year. This is, it's on 11 by 14. This is, they called it, I can't remember, but it's a basketball game between the Wasilla Fire Department and the Wasilla Police Department. And they had a lot of fun. I went there and took a few pictures, and I've got another one of this somewhere too. Anyway, it was fun. This is on 11 by 14 glossy paper. I don't usually do this. I think it was a special request or something. Anyway, that was a neat picture. Oh, no, now we gotta... This one was upside down. This is, I believe those are swans, wild trumpeter swans probably. They're flying across the sky above me. Took this, I don't know what kind of camera I used on this, it doesn't say. And I don't know if I used it in my YouTube videos or not. But it's kind of a fun picture to look at. It's like each swan has a different pose or a different expression on their face. But you can't really tell. Oh yeah, this one was not too long ago. This is Bonneville Dam on the Columbia River. My dad took this picture in the 1950s, and I did feature this picture on just a real recent YouTube video. So this is the top box of pictures that I have, so there might be some recent pictures in it. It's a neat picture. He took it with I don't know what kind of camera he used, but I was able to make a pretty neat print out of it. It's this 12 by 18 print with 13 by 19 paper. Epson, probably, yeah, it's an Epson paper. Cold pressed natural, probably. Here's an 8 by 10. This is a lady over at Primrose Nursing Home. She didn't mind that I took her photograph, and so I did. I was gonna do a video of this particular time over at Primrose, but I didn't do it. It just didn't seem... Well, I was uneasy about putting all their portraits up online, and also it wasn't really interesting video, so I didn't do it. Yep, here's some more. These are recent. This is a recent one I just did last summer. One gentleman taking all the kids for a ride on the jet ski. This was a fun time. This was at our friend's house over on Wasilla Lake, so it was a great day, and I was trying some quick exposure times on my, I think it was 80 to 200. Maybe it was a 200 to 500. I believe it was. Yeah, handheld. That's right. It was handheld, and it came. Some of them came out really pretty nice. Nice picture of that. This one, here's one from about 2009. Took it with a D200. This is, you can see in the background, this is Goose Bay on Connect Arm. It's out of Anchorage, and that is the city of Anchorage that you see the lights back there. I spent a lot of time back there back in the days, and then of course the same thing had happened back there as this happened at Hatcher Pass. It just started having people all the time. I used to be able to go back there and spend hours by myself, nobody around. I'd go there early in the morning, late at night. Got some nice pictures with the D200. Here's a duplicate of that picture for some reason. Sandhill Crane, Alaska Zoo, took this July 14th of this year, so this is a real recent one. These guys spent a lot of time in our yard. They would land out there just driving my little dogs crazy as they're looking out the window at them, but these birds didn't care. They just hung around, and they're loud birds. These birds are real loud. You can tell a sandhill crane from 200 miles away. Not quite, but you can hear them a long ways away. Yeah, it was fun taking this picture. She was, or he, whatever it is, was just taking its time, walking across my yard. Another one from this summer. This is a snow leopard taken with the D200 at the Alaska Zoo. This would have been in June of this year. Yeah, this one is a nice picture. It almost looks like it's in the wild, but of course it's not. It's at the Alaska Zoo. But I like the way it turned out, and the D200 did a nice job on it. Here's a strange one. I can't remember the story on this. This is also the snow leopard. And as you can tell, for some reason, I stopped the printing on it. I don't know why, but I think I put this in the box because I still have all this area to print on here. So I was planning on using it, but I got to remember I've got that. Here is, Twin Peaks from my deck with probably my 200 to 500 lens. Beautiful picture. It's a great view from my deck, and if I have a spotting scope, I can normally see sheep here in this little green area. There's a band of sheep up there, Dall sheep, and I can watch them. If I can't quite pick them up with my 200 to 500. It's got to be something a little more powerful. That's about, 12 to 15 miles away from me, actually. Great sight to see every day. Yep, here we have a duplicate of that one we just talked about. So I'll put that one in the box. Here is a trumpeter swan, I believe. And that's at my cabin. There's a pair of them, sometimes two pair. They come to our pond every year. Well, at least for the last 3 or 4 years. And they stay about 3 weeks and then take off and head up further north to build their nest. I can tell they're the same ones because it seems like they've gotten used to me. They were real skitterish the first time, but lately they put up with me and don't mind if I take their picture. Don't mind if I take their pictures. It's always fun if they're in my cabin in the spring. Here is a $50 I made a macro of, and that was just this summer. I think we did this one. And came out really good. Macro with an old Vivitar lens. That's what it was, with my D200 and a D200 and an old Vivitar lens, a zoom lens. It came out really clear. This one here, I took 1966 with my Konica Auto Reflex T camera, and I'm sorry. This was taken with my Argus C3. I didn't have my Konica then. This was taken with my old Argus C3 camera. One day, this is in Ellensburg, Washington, where there was an old old runway up there by the airport, and they turned it into a pretty popular drag strip. It was organized drags. It wasn't just a bunch of kids hanging out. It was organized and everything. So my friend and I drove up there one Sunday and watched the drags, and occasionally I'd get out and take a picture with that old Argus. So in this particular car, I took the picture and it was on slide film on Kodachrome, and I still have the slides and everything, so I'd scan them and stuff. And you know, I started looking at this car and I could not figure out what this was, because it doesn't look like anything from 1966 or before. So I put it on Facebook, and I put this picture on Facebook and said, anybody know what this is? I don't have an idea. And sure enough, right almost immediately, one of my followers from Yakima said, I know exactly what that is, and I know who the driver was. I said, what? Yeah, it's almost a one of a kind. There was only 3 of these made. It's a not a Nova. It's a Chevy. I can't remember. Now, I wish I'd have known this was going to be here. I'd have looked it up. But anyway, there was only 3 of them made like this. 3 cars made like this. And then the guy that told me that sent a link to the actual driver of the car, and he commented that they were just, him and his mechanic or whoever was just passing through Ellensburg that day and decided they'd stop by the drags. They were coming from somewhere else and they were based over in Seattle somewhere. And so on the way they stopped at Ellensburg Drags, and they were persuaded to make a couple runs with that car. And I happened to get the picture of it. And he was surprised there was even any pictures taken that day, because it was just off the cuff appearance. But anyway, that made this a pretty neat picture. I wish I could remember more about the car. But anyway, I was once I found that out, I printed this picture up, and it came out really nice for an old Kodachrome Kodachrome slide picture. And I think I put a new sky in it. The sky was really washed out. It was just white with dust spots. So I put a new sky in it. Other than that, I got the colors and everything pretty good on it. That was a fun thing to find out about this picture I've had for, 70 years? Is that what that is? 60 years, I guess. Yeah, 60 years ago I took this picture. Cool. And the last and final one, swans taking off from my pond up in Glacier View, Alaska. I spent a lot of time with these swans, and I hope they come back next spring, because I'll be waiting for them. All right, folks, there it is. Can you see me? Probably not. Anyway, bye for now, and I'll see you next video. Thanks for watching. See ya.